Good evening, VV Nation. Happy Friday. My name is Ryan. Always a pleasure giving these presentations. Now, 2 Fridays ago, I did a video. Time to hedge, right? That was the title of the video. I didn't say go out there and start buying short positions. I said keep your head on a swivel, right? The MTI is getting high. Just saw, broad market weakness in some of our indicators. Well, over the last 2 weeks, a lot of developments have occurred, right, in the market. And we're actually getting really close, if not potentially getting a DEW down signal by the end of today. So tonight's presentation, we're going to go over some market timing, see where the market's at, right? We're going to take a look at some contra ETFs. But tonight, I'm going to give you a twofer. Not only are we going to do that, but I got 2 day trades this week. You know me? You guys ask them for a lot. I haven't had much time to do any trading because I'm always making these videos, but I got 2 trades this week. You know it's AMD because that's my favorite stock to trade options on. So let's go ahead and jump in the program, go over our market timing signals, take a look at some contra ETFs, see what they are doing, see if they're opening up opportunities themselves. And on top of that, we're going to take a look at 2 trades I did this week. So that way, potentially, you can learn something and make some money. By an overwhelming demand, I wanted to give you an update on Glenn as he recovers from his stroke back in June. He is in rehabilitation right now, regaining his strength. Glenn is a fighter. VectorVest has teamed up with his family, and Linda Roy, our CEO, has worked in conjunction with his wife, Janet, to put together a GoFundMe account since there's been an overwhelming demand on how people can assist and help Glenn and his family during this time. If you wish to help, just go to www.vectorvest.com/Glenn. All right, first things first, covering the video from July 11th. That's where this dateline came out of. The when to hedge video. You can see price action of the VectorVest Composite making a higher high. Again, if you're new to the channel, VectorVest Composite, it's over 9,000 stocks. We consider it the broad market, a much better representation over the overall market, right? During that same time period, 2 of our proprietary indicators, the BSR, which is the health of the market, and the RT, looks at the short-term price trend, failed to make new highs as price action did, right? So what did that give us? A bearish divergence. And with the MTI currently at elevated levels, that typically means that the market is getting top heavy. You can expect a little chop. Doesn't mean this is going to happen immediately because we did see the rollover to the market here the week after. That's during the time period I said, keep your head on a swivel. So if you did, get bearish then, hey, is what it is. The market ticked back up for just a little bit more. We got our July highs in, and then look, the market has now rolled over. Now, as far as any level support in the VectorVest Composite here, I'm looking at this prior swing high, and we're actually there right now. So if you are planning on opening up bearish positions, just be careful. I'd like to see price action, maybe break this, maybe look at which contra ETFs in particular, make sure the moving averages make sense before you get into them. Now, if we break this, we do got some consolidation here as well. We can find a nice potential level support. Otherwise, this has been old faithful lately. I've had these lines on here for a while. It's around $70 to $69 right now. VectorVest Composite currently at $71.96. So if we don't catch here in the near future off this prior swing high, I do see more downside potential going forward. Potentially, right? But what's giving me a little bit more sentiment to the downside right now is, look, the BSR and the RT relative timing are now in unfavorable territory. These are oscillators here, right? MTI currently sits at 1.02. You see the red lines when MTI historically gets top heavy? Well, it historically likes to find a bottom around 0.6, right? And we've got a ways before 0.6 comes. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but just means that there's more downside potential ahead. So I want to keep that on your radar and just consider these things going forward as you make adjustments to your portfolio. And the other thing I was talking about market timing here, this is the DEW layout. DEW signal uses a DPO, detrended price oscillator. We've got a 30-day weighted moving average here, right? You can see the signals here done a great job keeping traders on the right side of the market, especially if you're swing trading. And that's why I like this signal a lot here. Look at price action now. Broke that 30-day weighted moving average, and DPO is now in negative territory. So if the price action and DPO close in the same position they are in now, we're going to have a DEW signal at the end of today. So again, this is all about just, keeping you on the right side of the trade. So let's take a look at some contra ETFs and at least see if the moving averages or if there's, some trade potential there when it comes to these contras. All right, I've got some contra ETFs here. I just kept it simple. These are index ETFs. If you want to spice things up a little bit, hey, That's on you. They got contra ETFs on just about everything right now. Also, I have the date line here. This is when I came out with that video. Well, it was a prior day. This is a Friday. This would have been Monday by the time you could have made any trades, right? This would have been July 14th. We take a look at DOG, the close that day, 25.32, currently sitting at 25.94. Looks like the ETF now just picking up momentum here. 3 is above the 8. Both of them now above the 20-day EMA. Price action broke above the 20-day EMA. I do see a little bit of an upper wick here. I'd like confirmation. Maybe take out that upper wick before just jumping in this position. Now, as we scroll through these, we'll notice the Russell here, also same situation. On the video that day, the close was at $18.23. Right now, we're sitting about $19. Upper wick once again. That's what I was saying. VectorVest Composite looking for that level support from that prior swing high. So I want confirmation. If you're not already in these, get confirmation before getting into it, because we're sitting right at a level of support right now, so you could get blown out of these positions, right? And again, next week is AMD, and we got NVIDIA at the end of the month. Typically, NVIDIA likes to get the market excited, right? So this could be a short-lived pullback, but again, just want to keep these things on your radar. I want to take out these upper wicks before getting into them. Here we got ProShares. QQQQ close that day 33.48. These ETFs, contra ETFs, finally started to make a little bit of money since then. We see price action just now broke above the 20-day EMA. What I'm liking about these contra ETFs, at least for the bears, right? If you're bullish, you're probably not going to like these too much. But look where we're getting rejection on the 20-day EMA. We're even short-lived sometimes. Now we're actually getting confirmation of price action above the 20-day EMA. So this could be a downtrend forming, right, for a lot of the major indices. Here we've got Ultra Pro Shares short. This is S&P 500 here. Again, look, broke above that 20-day EMA where we once were getting rejection prior to this, right? And RT continuing to climb. Series of higher highs and higher lows here. The close that day was 16.33. Right now we're at 16.59. A lot of these contra ETFs are in the positive since that video coming out here. And this is the FANG. This is the last one I have for you. Some of the big tech stocks here. Innovation, triple leveraged again. Gap up, but we're getting an upper wick right now. So if you are not in contra ETFs, I'd look for confirmation just because the VectorVest Composite is right at that level of support that I just mentioned. All right, hope you enjoyed this information. So let's go ahead and take a look at some day trading option trades I did on AMD this week. That way I could teach you some lessons as well, potentially add some tools to your day trading. All right, yesterday morning, I saw AMD selling off here, right? So I just drew a trend line here. Once price action found a level of support here, broke to the upside of this trend line. The 3 crossed above the 8-day EMA. That is when I took my trade here. I was a little aggressive on it, not going to lie. I bought, let's see here, 12 contracts, 72 cents a piece. Wrote them up. Now I put about $900 into this trade. I got to about $1,700. I actually got distracted, and I've talked about this on a prior video. If you plan on day trading, especially weekly options, do not do it if you have something scheduled. Well, I was working, obviously, recording videos, got distracted. What could have been a huge monster trade to the upside actually turned into a loss. By the time I realized the trade had went against me, you can see it broke below this trend line here. That would have been my stop if I was watching the trade, obviously. Probably would have broke out, a little bit to the upside here on that option. But I did not. It actually took a loss from what was about $900, brought me to $538. I took a loss there, right? So let me tell you how I made up for that in today's trade. All right, so this morning, obviously, wasn't too happy about yesterday. It was a great trade, great idea. Just didn't have the time to do it, right? So that's a lesson learned for you. If you don't have the time to do it, you're probably better off not trading. Don't be stressed out, right? So don't force the trade. So this morning, I see AMD. And I'm thinking bearish, right? I look at the VectorVest 7 software, looking at the news, not a whole lot of good things going on in the market. Now, I did say last night's AMD video, look for the retest from the upside of this, right? Well, we broke through it, right? So I had a feeling we were probably on a way to retest it from the bottom end. But look at this morning. I'm going to zoom in real quick. You see the first couple candlesticks? I noticed it right out of the gate. Look at this little pennant. Boom. Boom, right? So if I use my date line at 9:36 is when I took the trade. There we go. I try to get as close to the upper end of this pennant as possible. Give me a little bit of cushion zone in case there's some volatility or false breakout. But hey, there was a breakout to the other side, right? So that $538 investment is now worth almost $1,300. I bought the contracts here. See here, 51 cents. I sold them at $1.26. So you can see that was a big move for my portfolio. So when I started with the $900 yesterday, now I'm almost $1,300. I'm up, about $400. So almost, was about 40% in 2 days on AMD. Hey, I'm happy with it, even after my mistake yesterday. Now I did close out of the trade shortly after. I was only in this trade here. Let's see, 946. So this was the open at the top end of the pennant. Broke to the downside, gained a lot of momentum. And when a stock moves very closely, you see right here, 946. Hey, I was well into the green from 51 now to $1.26 on these contracts, right? More than a bag in 7 minutes. I saw this green candlestick. Hey, happy with my profits, recovered my losses, and made some money from yesterday's mistake. I was good. I sold out, right? And I'm glad I did, because look at AMD now. It is rocking and rolling to the upside. So if you're in AMD, especially from last night's presentation, it looks like this channel kind of got messed up here. Let's fix this. There we go. You could see the retest, right? So for all those people who said, hey, didn't go as well as you thought it might, it's doing exactly what I thought it would do. Retest this channel. Look at the video last night that I put out, right? So it's doing exactly what I thought. We needed this breather before earnings. Trust me, I trade AMD every day, and I know how AMD behaves. So as of right now, I'm still good as far as being bullish on AMD, and I'm still optimistic as far as an overall investment in AMD. The only thing I have concern right now, the MTI is retracing, and hey, it doesn't find a bottom till 0.6, right? So the only optimism I have here for AMD is earnings, right? Otherwise, the market's pulling back. So you really got to ask yourself, is AMD worth holding it? And what's your overall objective or goal with AMD? That's not a question I can answer. That's a question you have to ask yourself. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. We did market timing, contra ETFs, 2 trades as well. So hopefully this information helps you not only with the market in general, but your AMD trades going forward. Have a good night, and I'll see you Monday. All right, big event coming up. We got the Las Vegas 2-day investment seminar coming September 20th, 21st, 2025. You can achieve the VIP experience in person. Just go to VectorVest.com/Vegas to register now.